Every child deserves to grow up safe, protected, and free from harm. Yet, for many children, encounters with the justice system can be moments of fear, confusion, and vulnerability. Zambia recognizes that children are at the heart of national development, the promise of tomorrow, but too many still face obstacles that threaten that promise. And these same vulnerabilities often draw children into contact with the criminal justice system, whether as children in conflict with the law or victims of violence, placing their welfare, dignity, and reintegration into society at risk. This is even worse when justice professionals lack child-friendly approaches or understanding. These encounters can deepen a child's trauma rather than heal it, causing more harm than protection. Recognizing these challenges, Zambia's child justice actors came together to develop a set of landmark documents, a milestone in the country's journey towards a child-friendly justice system. These documents are designed to guide every professional who works with children in the justice system, providing clear, practical tools to ensure that every decision and action prioritizes the best interest of the child.
Children are often traumatized and victimized by child justice actors that save them. Despite using prescribed tools even as they discharge their duties towards these children, if the tools are not applied in the manner that they should, they do not make any sense and mean nothing to the children. Therefore, child justice actors should always make sure that tools that are put in place are utilized and the best interest of the child is always upheld. Therefore, these documents were developed to help professionals, even as they discharge their duties, so that they can uphold the rights of the children by showing compassion, dignity, respect, and care towards these children.
Since the enactment of the Children's Court Act 3 years ago, which reshaped Zambia's legal framework for child protection, key actors in the criminal justice system, that is law enforcement officers, prosecutors, social workers, judicial officers, have been working tirelessly to transform the system. This transformation has involved the development and review of landmark documents aligned with the Children's Court Act, providing practical guidance to ensure a child-friendly justice system. Through collaboration, shared commitment, they have laid the foundation for a more compassionate, coordinated, and child-centered justice system, one that listens to children, respects their rights, and upholds the best interest.
The journey to developing these documents was both rewarding and challenging at the same time. We had a lot of stakeholders come together, bringing in different areas of expertise, and it involved tireless days and sometimes nights of work and a lot of collaboration. The crucial thing was for us to ensure that the documents that we developed were both practical and were responsive to the needs of children in Zambia. I'm glad that we had a dedicated team of stakeholders from different institutions that were willing to toil through the process and ensure that we ultimately have frameworks for these different institutions that would be responsive to the very needs of children in Zambia.
Now, let us hear a summary of these landmark documents that we've been talking about. The National Child Justice Strategy and Action Plan 2022 to 2026. The review of this strategy was spearheaded by the judiciary through the Child Justice Forum Secretariat. This document sets the national vision for a child-friendly justice system in Zambia. It outlines the clear roles and responsibilities of every stakeholder involved in the child justice system and coordinates actions to promote prevention, diversion, and rehabilitation, ensuring that every child who comes into contact with the law is treated with dignity, compassion, and fairness. The National Diversion Framework. The review of this framework was spearheaded by the Ministry of Community Development and Social Services through the Department of Social Welfare. As we all know, diversion gives children a second chance, and therefore this framework provides guidance on how children in conflict with the law can be redirected away from courtrooms and instead supported through counseling, community service, family-based interventions, among other things, helping them rebuild their lives within their communities.
The National Diversion Framework entails us on how diversion is applied to children in conflict with the law as they reform, reflect, and learn from their offending behavior, even as we reintegrate them in communities. This also entails that their root offending behavior is identified and they are assisted in the best possible manner.
The police guidelines on the management of children in the criminal justice system. The development of these guidelines was spearheaded by the Zambia Police Service through the Child Protection Unit and the Victim Support Unit. At the front line of justice, the police play a crucial role in shaping a child's experience with the justice system, and therefore these guidelines provide practical steps for all police officers for handling children during arrest and investigation while safeguarding their rights, privacy, and emotional well-being at every stage of the justice process.
So the police guidelines have transformed the way the police do their work in the protection of children's rights. The police guidelines emphasize that detention of children should be the last resort, and also emphasize that child victims and witnesses should be provided with the care that they deserve to avoid re-victimization.
The prosecutor's guidelines on the management of children in the criminal justice system. The development of these guidelines was spearheaded by the National Prosecution Authority through its Gender-Based Crimes and Child Protection Department. As we may be aware, prosecutors exercise delegated authority to undertake, institute, take over, and discontinue criminal proceedings in Zambia, and therefore they'll hold the power to decide how cases involving children are handled. These guidelines help them exercise that responsibility with care, promoting decisions that are fair, restorative, and always in the best interests of the child, whether as child victims, child witnesses, or children in conflict with the law.
The guidelines help us make decisions that are fair, restorative, and child-centered. They provide tools and practical tools that help us to look at these cases in their best interest, ensuring that we look into their rights and needs as children. It's been a huge improvement looking at the way we used to look at things before, as it ensures that we look into these cases with care and compassion.
The Prosecutor's Handbook on Sexual Violence. The review of the handbook was spearheaded by the National Prosecution Authority through its Gender-Based Crimes and Child Protection Department. Sexual violence against children leaves deep and lasting scars, and therefore this handbook equips prosecutors with the tools, the knowledge, and sensitivity needed to handle such cases effectively and compassionately. It reinforces a victim and child-centered approach, one that seeks justice while preserving the dignity and safety of every child.
The National Prosecution Authority is delighted at the development of the Prosecutor's Handbook for Children in the Justice System and the Sexual Violence Handbook. We are very grateful for the support rendered by UNICEF in assisting us to develop these very key resource handbooks. These books were developed in a multi-sectoral manner with support from the judiciary, from the Ministry of Community Development, and the Zambia Police Service. And it is our hope and our wish that with these two very insightful handbooks, the prosecution service will ensure that child friendliness permeates throughout the criminal justice continuum, from the time of investigation to the time of prosecution to the time that the matter is in court. Our desire as NPA is to see a child justice system that does not occasion more harm, does not re-victimize, but rather upholds the respect, the integrity, and dignity of every child that comes into the criminal justice system.
Together, these documents represent Zambia's unwavering commitment to build a justice system that protects, empowers, and restores, always keeping the best interests of the child at the center of every decision. They ensure that every child who encounters the justice system is supported, protected, and given a chance to thrive.
And here we are today. After such a tedious process, as a technical working group, we're excited to have our documents launched here today. But beyond this launch, we would want to see the actual implementation of these documents. Only then do we guarantee enhanced access to justice for children in Zambia, and also a justice system that prioritizes the best interest of a child. So we hope that going forward, we see our documents actually making an impact in the child justice sector. Thank you so much, and thank you to the Technical Working Group.
The development and launch of these documents was made possible with the support of UNICEF. We are grateful for their commitment to strengthening the child justice system in Zambia.